Hey y'all, it's Brijin, the Museum Stitcher, and welcome back to my channel for another floss tube. I think this might be number 42, maybe it's 43, I've lost track at this point, but this is a whopper of a video, so I'm glad you've tuned in. If you're new here, this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my crafting life, mostly about cross stitch. Today, a lot of cross stitch and a teeny tiny little bit of knitting, and a little bit of sewing actually too. So if any of those things interest you, I invite you to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, stick around, all of those things. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today is going to be my StitchCon review video, as well as a huge progress update because I've worked on a ton of projects since I last talked to you. It's been about 4 weeks since I last filmed. I usually go about 3. And because of that, we have a lot to cover today. So let's not mince words, let's just get into it. Again, it is going to be a pretty action-packed video today. So let's start off with some stuff that I meant to mention last time. So for StitchCon, which is a cross-stitch retreat that happens in Cincinnati, Ohio every year, I was planning on participating in the Smalls Exchange. So I stitched a small and I fully finished it. And then I loved it so much that I couldn't get rid of it. So I ended up keeping my small for the Smalls Exchange. Also, as a side note, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit congested. My post-plane travel allergies and congestion have happened, but we're trying our best and I'm gonna push through it. So anyway, this is my StitchCon small. This is Scissors and Threads by Jeanette Douglas Designs. I stitched it on a 40 count platinum linen by Zweigart, with all of the called for Fancy Floss. I am so obsessed with him. Look how cute he is. I finished him with some scrap fabrics from my stash, and I used a little printable label that I made to put my logo on the back, and I put SC24 for StitchCon 2024, since that's when I was planning on giving him away. But he is just so stinking cute, and I couldn't make myself give him away, so I kept him. Sorry about it, but I have a couple others from this series, but this was the last of my scraps from this fabric line, so I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna finish the rest of them. I guess we'll see. But anyway, that is Scissors and Threads. I did finish this in between my last floss tubes, but since, you know, I was planning on giving it away, I was keeping it a secret at that point. I just did a little finish at the bottom. Although I think in the future, I do want to try doing a pillow finish where I rip a hole in the back and turn it out through there. Because I do find that my pillows pinch a little bit at the bottom and kind of get this like dented look, which I don't love. I want them to be perfectly square. But I'm really proud of how this came out, how the stuffing looks, a whole 9 yards, the quilting lines on top. I was inspired by the finish that Hands On Design does with her like triple play series, I think. But I didn't follow the tutorial exactly. I just kind of guessed and did my own thing with it. So that's that. I love it so much. I can't believe how well it turned out. And I stitched this in 2 days, I think, 3 days, maybe 3. Let's see, May 4th through 6th, so 3 days. But yeah, that's sew together. So that's the first thing out of the way. Then I had another start and finish. This was actually one that my friends and I started at StitchCon. So shout out to Table 2, which was me, Cam the Stitcher, Marjorie of Marjorie Made, Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, Maddie of Kitty Stitch on Instagram, and Rachel of Lemonade Stitching here on Flosstube. And we were given these little scraps of ornament fabric cuts from Millennial Fabrics. This is 18 count Wanderlust. And all of my friends, I think everyone but Rachel got Wanderlust. Rachel got like Dove, I think, which is like the greeny gray. And we were sitting here with these little ornament cuts, and we noticed that the pattern printed in the passport, not one of the ones that you QR scanned for, but printed on the passport, would fit perfectly on this. So we went to Keepsakes and we got some Fancy Flosses in a color conversion, and we split up the skeins between everybody. These were my leftovers. So we probably could have just gotten one of each. We got 2 of some of the colors. But I split up all these skeins onto floss drops that we got at StitchCon because everyone was handing out floss drops. I think these are from JBW Designs, but they're so cute. Divided up the skeins of floss, so we each only bought like 1 or 2 skeins. And then we stitched this little small, and I changed out the back stitch, which I think originally said something like it's you and me or something. I changed it to the girlies because that's what we call ourselves, my cross stitch girlies. And we stitched this little small. So we started this at StitchCon. I think we started it, let me see, on June 8th, and I stitched about 400 stitches then, and then June 10th I finished up the rest. So a nice little small finish, start and finish with my girlies. I love them so much. Again, shout out to Table 2. So we did a color conversion from DMC to Classic Colorworks Miss Madeline, Gentle Arts Berry Cobbler, Classic Colorworks Pickled Beets, Classic Colorworks Deep Fennel, and Classic Colorworks Spinach. And I'm very proud of how that turned out. And it looks, definitely go check out Rachel of Lemonade Stitching's channel. Like, check out everyone's channel, right? But Rachel did it on the green, and I actually think I like it more. But it's beautiful on this purple too. So anyway, that was my little start and finish, our little table stitch from StitchCon. And I just love it so much. I think the ombre words are so cute. And Marjorie just fully finished hers in this little circle frame from Target. And so I need to fully finish mine. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet. But yeah, that was a little start and finish for the girlies. Love that one. And then the piece de resistance, the big finish from StitchCon, where we all rung the bell together, was, and if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, this will be no surprise to you. This is Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Mathews. My friends, some of which who were not at StitchCon, which would be Alexis and Megan, we all started this together last July as a round robin, because on this piece there are 7 flowers and there were 7 of us. So we passed this around once a month for a year until everyone stitched a flower on everyone's piece. And then Maddie had the great idea for everyone who had not already finished theirs to finish it at StitchCon together. So we put in our final stitches together. I just had, the last time you saw this, I just had the rest of the house. So did that and got it all done together. So I'll pop a picture up here of, or a video of us ringing the bell and us with our projects together. But it was so much fun to get to see everybody's and to just finish it all together like we started it all together. So we will surely be having another friendship sal, which I'll talk about here in a bit. But this was one I'm so proud of, and I cannot wait to have it hanging up on my wall. I stitched mine on a 36 count Bramble linen by Picture This Plus with Colour and Cotton Patchwork as my floss. It is a beautiful purple. It's reading a lot darker on camera, but that's just because for whatever reason my camera has a trouble with purples. So it's not quite this dark, but I am just obsessed with it. The variegation came out beautifully. And everyone picked amazing color combinations. I believe Cam and Marjorie chose to omit these bottom florals. So theirs just ends on this first row here, and it looks amazing. So yeah, everybody did a little bit different, and I love that all of my friends' initials are by the flowers that they stitched. It's just such a special piece, and we may need another 5 to 10 years before we do another round robin because the scheduling is hard, and keeping up with this was a beast, but we did it, and I am so proud. So I can't wait to get this fully finished, but this was my ringing the bell moment, my StitchCon finish that we had all planned on, and I'm so excited. So that's another 2023 whip down, which I am so excited about. So let's see, what should we do next? We'll just do, there's not really an order to the projects I'm talking about. There probably should be, but we're not that organized today, so because we have so much to talk about. So we'll just move on to a monthly goal. This piece I worked on a little bit at StitchCon, but this is Song of the Nightingale by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is a stitch that I'm doing with paper crane stitches on Instagram. It is a beautiful Modern Folk Embroidery piece that I'm doing in a complete color conversion. The last time that you saw this piece, let me check where it was. Okay, so I started this project in December of 2023, And the last time that you saw this project was Flosstube 39, and it was sitting at 33.5% complete, or about 8,000 stitches. I have since completed the May and June sections on this, because I believe it was May the last time we talked. And this is what it looks like now. I freaking love it. I'm so obsessed. So I went through and finished out this whole maroon stripe here with the gold accents, and then started outlining these sections here. So that was the good bit of it for this time. I also think maybe I finished out this section. I'm not 100% sure what it looked like off the top of my head, but this is on a 36 count Heirloom Lace linen by Colour Cotton with 3 DMCs that I will have in the description box down below. If you ever have any questions about the designers of these projects or what I used, it's usually in the description box, so check there before you leave a comment. But I just freaking love it. I think it's looking so cool. And it's now at the 50% mark. So this now has 12,000 stitches on it, 12,032 to be specific. But we are at June and we are at the 50% mark, and this will be finished in December of this next year, which is going to be so incredibly satisfying. I love how decorative these pieces are. Jacob's pieces are absolutely stunning. And it just feels really good to look back on where this was in January and see it now, where it's at. So yeah, that is this one. This is Song of the Nightingale by Modern Folk Embroidery. I just love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, next up was another StitchCon start. So when we finished our round robins, we had decided that we wanted to do another friendship sal. So another piece that we would all stitch together and work on. And so we decided, I think it was Marjorie's idea originally, to do Biscornus so that everyone could pick a different pattern or something that spoke to them, but we're still stitching something the same. And I'm actually stitching the same one as my friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch because we share the same brain. And everyone's doing a different one, so go check out all their videos to see what they're working on. But the Biscornu that I started at StitchCon was this one. This is the Love to Stitch Biscornu by Cosford Rise Stitchery. Maddie started it as well, but this one has been making the rounds. It is so stinking cute. It's a cross-stitch themed Biscornu, so you got some safety pins here, a little bobbin of thread, a needle threader, buttons, scissors, thread cards. There's a card with buttons on it over here that I haven't done yet, a thimble. I did Smyrna crosses where there's these giant, just plain cross stitches called for, and I'm loving how this came out. I'm stitching mine on a 40 count Not Another Sampler linen by Stitch Me with the called for DMC conversion in the chart. And it's sitting now at about 20% complete. I am ignoring the outline of the cross stitches because I will be doing those in back stitches and not in full cross, because that was the mistake I made on my last Biscornu. And it's so much cleaner of a finish when you just do a back stitch border instead of a full stitch border. So that's the plan for that. So I don't have to do all those border stitches. I just have to do the back stitch of those. So I'm gonna finish the entire interior of this one and then do the back stitch. And then start over here and do the back side, which has these little scissors in the corner. It's very cute. But it's a very reasonable sized Biscornu, and I was able to just cut off a chunk of linen and make it work. So absolutely love this one. I think it's so cute. I love it so much. So yeah. The other note I have, if you are planning on starting this thread card, she calls for full cross stitches through the center, but I actually found that I just had to do the sides and then just do the satin stitch over it with a couple like extra for thickness, and you don't see the cross stitches through it, and I didn't have to do all those cross stitches that I would just satin stitch over. So that was my little hack on this one, but that is my Biscornu. Everyone started adorable Biscornus. I cannot wait to see them all finished. And yeah. Okay, next up is actually an adopted whip. So this one I talked about with Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch back at Needlework Market in March. So she was getting rid of this piece, and it had been on my list to stitch for a while. So I actually ended up adopting her piece from her, and she gave it to me at StitchCon. But this is Heartstring Samplery Stitcher's Resolution. It is such a cute little sampler. I love it so much. So Elizabeth gifted it to me with all the called for threads, and I'm using one of her needle minders she gave me on it. So she had gotten it, I'll pop a picture here where she had gotten it to, which was about 13% of the project. And I went ahead and did another 13% on it over the last week. So I completed out the top border and the top line of text, added on a few leaves to this line, and filled in a couple flowers, and here we are. So that's the full width of the piece, and it's not a very large sampler. I think I could get this done with like a bit of a focus, but I'll probably pull it out for sampler September, I think. Again, I think it's gonna go away for the rest of the summer just because I have some pretty heavy, pretty specific goals that I'd like to reach over the next few weeks. And yeah, I just love it so much. I think it's so sweet. So I'm keeping that one. Oh, let me show you actually, I forgot to mention, my Biscornu I'm keeping in a new project bag. These are all the DMCs that my friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch made for me. She made us all matching project bags, and I just think the fabric is so freaking fun. And keeping a stitchy themed Biscornu in here also just works so well. My zipper pull is a strawberry zipper pull that Sarah of Sarah's Stitchery made for me, which I also love. And yeah, so this is where my Biscornu is being kept at the moment. I love it so much, and I forgot to mention it. So I think for the future, once we finish these Biscornus, this bag is just going to be my friendship style bag. So whatever all my cross stitch girlies start and finish together will always be in this bag. So I'm keeping my Stitcher's Resolution in a bag that doesn't match the theme at all, but I'm starting to run out of project bags. So this is a pumpkin bag from the 805 Stitcher, I think, which is super adorable. It doesn't match the vibe of the piece at all. And then these are the Call for Flosses from Liz. And that's the bag that one's being kept in. Next up, back in May, for Manning May, I worked a bit more on my Carolyn Manning piece, which is Bountiful Blooms. I believe that you saw it at my mid-May update, but I was trying to hit 25% on this guy, which would have been a grand total of 4,500 stitches for the month of May. And I am happy to report that the last time that you saw it, it was at 16.7%, or about 4,200 stitches done, and it is now sitting at 25%, or 6,299 stitches complete. I worked on this for 4 more stitching sessions to get the last 2,100 stitches done. Oh my God! I just love it so much. I think it looks so cool. So it's now the full width of the piece is done. I filled in the border, the center of the border. I did all these motifs here and finished up this flower here, and it just looks insane. I'm stitching this 2/1 on 16 count French country Aida with all the called for DMCs. And I also did want to shout out my friend Rachel of Lemonade Stitching. She finished one of these into a perforated paper corner bookmark, and it looks so freaking cool. She killed it with this one. And I'm absolutely going to take my next Manning May piece, like some of the really big, colorful designs, and I'm just going to do a small square on perforated paper and make one of those bookmarks, because it's such a creative way to finish one of these and to do a part of it without committing to a whole giant piece. And since this one is only at 25% after 2 Manning Mays, I think this one is going to be my Manning May whip for a while yet. But thank you for everyone who participated in Manning May. It's such a fun one. There are so many designs that are absolutely amazing, and it's so fun to see everyone's choices. I actually saw someone had their finished one of this one at StitchCon on the brag table, and it is absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to finish it. I had hoped that I would get this whole top flower done so that the whole like first band would be finished, but you know, when one has a lot of goals, some things don't happen. So that was my progress on this one, and that was the end of Manning May for this year. So excited about that one. And then I worked a little bit on a project that was a WIPGO call for last month. So let's have a little bit of a chat about WIPGO. I did decide actually after the end of May to stop doing WIPGO. And it's not because I don't think the system works. I think it's because the kind of stitcher that I am right now, it's not working for me. It's not serving me, as my friend Elizabeth said. It's just that I have so many goals that I'm trying to hit that between my monthly goals, working on seasonal pieces, and trying to like enjoy my stitching time, I think I was overscheduling myself a little bit. And then my whip goes wouldn't get done and I would feel bad because they didn't get finished. So I am setting aside whip go because I think that system works for people who need a little bit more variety in picking their whips, or who like to have that randomness of what they're working on month to month. But I have very strong opinions about what I want to be working on in different seasons or different months to get finishes or to get progress in the season I want to stitch on those things. So I don't think the system works for me right now. I think in the future, like maybe when I'm finished with my Days of Christmas piece, and I don't have as many goals that I'm trying to hit with my friends, I think that maybe it would work for me. So I'm not saying no to it forever, but I am saying no to it for right now. That being said, I did finish my whip go goals in May. And so I worked on Margaret Hull 1872 by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I love this piece. This was my New Year's Eve start of last year, and I haven't touched it since. And so I believe it was sitting at 14.7% or 1,385 stitches complete. And after 2 stitching sessions, my goal was to get 1,500 stitches done on this, and I did. It is now sitting at 33.5% complete or 3,008 stitches done. I'm stitching this on 36 count dirty porcelain linen by Roxy Floss Co. with all the called for DMCs. And I finished most of the bird. I just have, I think, 1 color remaining in his tail, and the entire bird will be complete, and I can do kind of the rest of the floral vine he's sitting on. And then there's just a few motifs around. I'm not gonna do the satin stitch border on this one, I don't think. I wanna leave it really light and airy. But good Lord, how freaking amazing are these DMCs in this bird. I could not stop stitching on it. I really had a hard time putting it down because I did want to plug through and finish the rest of his tail, but goals call. So he got a little bit of love and he is sitting at a really good spot now. Ideally, I'd like to have him finished by the end of this year, but I don't know if or when that's going to happen. So he might get pulled out a little bit more towards the end of the year, maybe in like November. But I just think it's so cool because I do have quite a bit of fancy bird pieces that I'd like to finish. And I'm stitching this one in, or I'm keeping this one in another 805 stitcher bag with these like travel prints. That's super cute. And the final project, well, I have 2 more. Second to last project is Sarah Moon 1791. This is my full moon stitch with some of my cross stitch friends, Cam, Marjorie, and Megan. And I had been bad about doing this on the full moon of like the last month, but I did it in May. So for the May, last time you saw it, let me start back. Last time you saw this, it was sitting at 6.5% complete, or about 1,700 stitches done. And now it is sitting at 8.4 or 2,263. I did 515 stitches on this one this full moon. This is stitched on a 40 count dirt track linen by Fox and Rabbit, which is absolutely amazing, with the HDF silk conversion. And this full moon, I know it's hard to see this motif right here, but this full moon, I did this like maroon section here and this bright blue flower here. So I do need to finish, I think this next full moon, I'm gonna try and tackle this big Quaker on the side and get the full side done here. Hang on. So I'd like to get the full side of the piece mapped out on this next full moon. I do have quite a tight margin on this one just because it is such a large piece, and this is one of those fat quarters that's a 17 inch and not an 18 inch. But I'm gonna make it work. I may have to sew some fabric to the sides just to give myself a little bit of space to work over here. But that's how she's looking so far. Little progress plugging away. I do think I might end up replacing this light pink color in the long run. It's a lot easier to see in person than it is on camera, but I love how bold all the other colors are. So I may swap that out for another one of the pinks because this is used quite a bit in the pattern, but that is a problem for me to solve in the future. So anyway, that is the plan for this one right now. I'm just plugging away. Once every full moon, not too bad. No super strict goals for stitch count or anything. I would like to actually though, I say that on the next full moon in June, coming up here in a couple weeks, I would like to get this past the 10% mark. My friend Marjorie has been doing this thing called 10 to 10 by 10, where she tries to get 10 projects of hers to the 10% mark by October. And I've been kind of low-key trying to get all of my whips to 10% by the end of the year. And so that is one of the ones that is under 10% right now. But I think I only have like 500 stitches to get it to the 10% mark. So that is a goal for me upcoming year. And that is why everything that I've started, I've been trying to get to the 10% mark before I put it down. So that I can at least say I got a pretty good start on it before I put it away. And the final cross stitch I want to share with you today is not a finish, but it is a UFO for now. And this was a last minute idea that I threw together. I've wanted to do this for a while, but I completely forgot about it until my friend Elizabeth was sharing about the pass around project that she was doing for StitchCon, which was an amazing idea. Hers is much more complicated than mine, and I love it so much. She's doing, I think 12324 by ABC, something like that. She's doing a really cool pass around project. Mine is definitely more lax, but my friend Liz Mathews released this chart, which is a freebie on her website and in her newsletter. So go sign up for her newsletter if you haven't yet. It's a great newsletter. I highly recommend it. But it is this little pass around project where you essentially stitch the vase or the basket and the border, and then you pass it around and let people stitch any motif they want anywhere in the basket. And then whenever you cap it off, you just finish out the border and you stitch the year. And it's a little pass around project that everyone stitched on with whatever odd and end threads they had on their needle or wanted to stitch with. And so I passed this around at StitchCon. Obviously, I did a very bad job at it. I didn't get a ton of people to stitch on this, but I am just going to keep it going. This is on a 36 count dirty porcelain offcut from Margaret Hull that's really long. Obviously, it's not going to get all the way up here, but I think I am going to keep it through the retreat season of 2025 because I think my friends and I are going to go back to StitchCon, and Cam, Maddie, Elizabeth, and I are going to Stitch North. So I think I'm just going to keep this and take it with me to a few more retreats and let people kind of pile in some more motifs in it. But I just love seeing it. I think it's, you know, it takes 10 seconds to do one of these little motifs. You can do a big one or a small one. And I really should have done a better job about passing it around. I meant to just give it to everyone who came and said hi, but I got to talking, or, you know, things happen. So anyway, that is my little pass around project. I did Smyrna crosses for the basket, and then I used DMC 8 for the border, so it'd just be a nice DMC that I can return to in a couple years. The color won't have changed, all of those kinds of things. So I just did the border up a bit, and then I just used whatever thread was left on the needle to kind of map out the guidelines for anyone who was adding stitches past the border. So yeah, my plan for this one is to turn it into a panel and a project bag when it does get really full. I'd like it to maybe get like up to here or so, like just kind of get it kind of rectangular in shape before I cut it off. So this is a UFO for now. I won't be touching it again until retreat season of next year. Or I pass it around somewhere else, I don't know. But I am keeping it as an open pass around project for a while yet. So we will see what happens with that one. But that is something I did start and stitch on for like maybe 300 stitches before StitchCon. It was really easy to throw together. So if you're looking for something that you'd like to pass around to friends, that is definitely one that I recommend. It was super easy, and I just printed off her little instruction card and everyone stitched on it. It was great. So that is that one. And I believe that is all the stitching that I did. I do have quite a bit of haul that I will share as I talk about my StitchCon experience, but if you are not interested in those kinds of things, I will leave you here. I also have a little bit of a knitting update and a sewing update, but we are about to get into the not active whip progress portion of today's video. So that's that. Okay, haul-wise, at StitchCon, they gave out bags this year, which I love the bags from this year so much more than the bags from last year. I stuck some enamel pins on there that my friend Marjorie gave us. It says Artsy Fartsy Alliance on it, which I think is so cute. And then they gave out these keepsakes things, and so I stuck that on there. But these bags are like heavy duty. They hold a crap ton. They have a zipper closure and a laptop sleeve. Like, these bags, they went all out for them, and so freaking useful. So good on you, StitchCon, for great bags this year. But in addition to this bag, I made my own bag to take with me. And while next year I do want to make a By Annie travel duffel, this year I just made a small zip it up. So this is the zip it up pattern from By Annie in the size small. This is a super easy beginner bag making pattern. It's not one of the ones that comes with a video tutorial, so you do need to have some familiarity with By Annie patterns, but I haven't made a By Annie bag in a couple years, and I was able to crank this out in a few hours. But essentially, you quilt out a fabric, and you choose two accent fabrics, one for the lining and one for all these bits and bobs, and some zippers, and you're good to go. So this one has, this is actually some Gloria fabric from an old quilt I made. And I did all this quilting. I just freehanded it. I didn't draw it on, and I think it turned out okay. But it has a quilted zipper pocket on the front. It has a mesh pocket on this side and a vinyl pocket on this side. I did this entire thing out of scraps, including the zipper tape and the mesh and vinyl. And so I didn't spend a single extra dollar on this project. It was all from within my craft room, which was super exciting. I actually had just enough zipper tape by 2 inches. So I had 2 inches of extra. But I love that it opens flat. I love that it has a carry handle. My friend Elizabeth of Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch made one years ago, and I bought the pattern after seeing it on her channel before I made floss tubes. She has the size large, which I'll definitely be making one, but I love the small size. I was able to pack 6 full cross stitch projects, including floss and fabric, in this thing to take to StitchCon. Highly recommend it as a retreat stitching bag. All of my projects were in one spot. It was so easy. It fills up real full, real easy, and it doesn't like get warped or anything. I think in the future when I make this, I will add another zipper pocket to the back just to give myself a little bit more versatility. But that is my only complaint with this one, is that I would have added more pockets. So super happy with how this turned out. It was so incredibly useful. I just stuck it in my carry-on bag on the flight, and absolutely no problems. All my cross-stitch stuff was in one convenient location. So that's this guy. That is a Zip It Up by Annie, and I loved it. It was the perfect retreat bag. Yay. And I just love a foam bag. Okay, future haul. I spent some time making some table gifts for my friends. We are going to have the best time, and I wanted to do table gifts last year, but I ran out of time to prep. So I made myself do it this year, and I raided my stash, and I was able to put together a bunch of these bags. This is the Can Do Crafts Drawstring Project bag. I made the medium size, and I made 6 of them. And I did raid my stash, so nothing too fancy. But this is the bag I made for my friend Cam of Cam the Stitcher. It's this Halloween fabric that my friend Megan actually gifted me some of, with this beautiful purple floral and this like Halloween-y checkered fabric. I made these labels again, and I sewed them on the bags myself. Because all of my friends have some kind of yarn craft that they do, or something they could put in here. It's just a useful bag. The rest of them don't have the leather cording in them yet, because I'm waiting on more to get here, but I'll go ahead and show you the bag. So that's the one for Cam. The one for my friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch on Instagram looks like this. This gorgeous, I think this is Ruby Star fabric, if I'm not mistaken. And then like a blue, bright blue inside. They look better when they have the leather cording, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. This is the one I made for my friend Marjorie. It had moths on it because Marjorie loves moths. And I did these like gorgeous autumnal colors for hers. For my friend Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, I have 3 bags for 3 Elizabeths. This is my friend Frizzy Lizzy's bag with the blue polka dots and the bright floral and the bright pink interior. I think she's gonna love it. Maddie and Elizabeth have been making a lot of socks and hats, and I think this will be the perfect bag for that. For my friend Liz of Hello from Liz Mathews, I used these fabrics from Riley Blake, and they're very vintagey and adorable, and I love it. And finally, for my friend Elizabeth of Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, I used this big bright floral with this maroonish pink magenta-y colored polka dot, and I used the same for the interior because this big floral is just so cute. So it took me a long time to make all of these, but that is the one great thing about being a crafter and having a big stash is you can just whip out presents for your friends without too much hassle. So anyway, these are all my table gifts. I'm going to hopefully get a picture of everyone holding them to insert in the video somewhere, but drawstring bags for everybody. And if you have not checked out the Can Do Crafts drawstring project bag tutorial, it is so easy and so beginner friendly. And I believe Okla Roots, also here on YouTube, has a great tutorial step-by-step on how to do it. So I've made them in a bunch of different sizes. This is a custom size I did for myself, and they're just great. So those are all of my table gifts. So my friend Marjorie made some table gifts as well. She made these adorable little zipper pouches, which I love this fabric. It's so me, it's so perfect. And I've got a few notions in here that I just took with me. She also had some stuff in these little bags, but I took those out. So that was from Marjorie. She was also handing out some old book sleeves she made. So I grabbed this one in this fun orange fabric. And I actually ended up just keeping all the things that people were giving me in this over the weekend, and it was super helpful. So shout out to these little bags, but I cannot wait to stick an actual book in here in the future. I think they're just so adorable, and she's so talented, and I love her so much. So thank you, Marjorie. And then we actually went to a yarn store one of the days, and we all got some yarn, and I got matching yarn with Elizabeth Ann, Cam, and Marjorie, and it's so cute. It's like a fingering weight, I think from Lahala is the brand, but we're all gonna make some matching socks in this like fun, funky, I'm calling it candy salad color because we made a whole bunch of candy salad at StitchCon and had it on our table, and this just reminds me of all those bright neon candy colors. Which, speaking of candy, Michaela of Cinematic Stitches gave these like chocolate wafer bars from Canada. I think they were, I've completely forgotten what they were called, but they were like coffee Kit Kats, but better. And they were amazing. So shout out to Michaela for bringing the best candy, even though we went ham at the dollar store. My friend Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches made us all these It's You I Like stitched pillows with this cute backing fabric and her little label. And I think it's so cute. I've been waiting to talk about this so I can set it up on my stitching spot with the little tomato pin cushion that my friend Maddie made us last year. So I have like a little setup of this little cute little pillow. And they're just so cute and so small. And she used her fabric and floss from her Round Robin project, which is so incredibly special. So love that. You did an amazing job, Elizabeth, on these little pillows. I had an amazingly kind and sweet viewer make me this needle book out of the most perfect fabric, which is like cats and yarn and cross stitch and comfy chairs. And so I won't show the note that she included in here, but she put in these amazing felt pages, and I'm just blown away. It's so cute and so functional. I've been using it a ton since I got back, but it melted my heart. I did cry. Thank you. And I got an incredible beading box from Beth. I don't know if she wants me to share her last name. So, but Bar Designs is her brand. But she made this little needle box by hand. It is absolute, like I'm scared to use it and break it because it is absolutely incredible. On the inside, there's beading flosses, there's a pin cushion, there's a magnetic needle book, there's a needle minder up here and a beading bowl, and the intricacy and the colors, it's just an amazing, amazing special thing that I feel so honored to have. So thank you, Beth. I love it so much. I cannot wait to bead a project with this in the future. I know I have a project that only has beading left that I need to finish because it is my oldest whip, and I cannot wait to pull this out to use that. So thank you so much. It's so special and so beautiful. Beth also gave out these adorable needle minders. I actually will include here a pan over of all of the gifts that I received from everyone who was bringing around things. Unfortunately, it was so much that I can't individually talk about every little thing, or I will be here for hours, and it is actively Father's Day as I'm recording this, so I do need to wrap it up pretty soon. But I've been waiting until my voice was usable. So Carrie gave me an adorable cup, and Carrie of Tiger Lily Designs gave me an adorable cup that I have somewhere around here. I don't think I brought it over here when I started to film. And a coaster of these adorable, colorful wool felt balls. There's an adorable trinket tray from Natasha of Britches Get Stitches. There's old DMC from Abby Topknot, and I got some fabric that I'll share here. I've got, I'll show this one right here, some amazing silk from Those Missing Stitches. She gave me a whole bunch of black silk from Silks for You, which is incredible. I can always use black floss. I got a bookmark from an amazing viewer from the UK, which is so special. I collected these leather bookmarks across Europe when I was studying abroad, so I can add this to my collection there. I just got a whole bunch of needle minders and zipper pulls and scissor fobs and floss drops and all the alls, and I just am feeling so incredibly grateful and blessed to have gone and to have gotten those things and to have been considered by people. So thank you to everyone who came and said hi and who gave me something. I treasure it all, but I did have to put it away because a week of having it all out was too much for me. So let's go over fabric haul from StitchCon, shall we? I didn't go super crazy this year. I had some cash that was my limit and I stayed within it, so go me. But Those Missing Stitches was also giving out some fat eighths of fabric, and this color, when I tell you that this might be my most favorite neutral color of all time, this is Vigilant Vivian. It's a 36 count linen. It's like this pinky neutral. I'm just so obsessed with it, and I haven't tried her linen before, but the weave looks amazing from here. So I can't wait to try that out. I got a fat quarter of 40 count Dove from Millennial Fabrics. This is the fabric that my friend Rachel was doing her small good friends on, and it's absolutely stunning. I can't wait to work with it. The holes seem really easy to see, which is great. And the color is just the stunning gray-green. So pick that up from the annex. I got a little offcut of Hazelwood from Fiber on a Whim from Beth, who was there, and some fun rickrack. So that was a gift. And then I picked up at Keepsakes a fat quarter of Sleepy Hollow from Atomic Ranch, which is just the coolest fabric. It's like this pink, navy, brown. I think something monochromatic in white for Halloween would be so cool on this. I don't have any strict plans in mind. If you have pattern suggestions for this fabric, let me know. But there was only a fat quarter left and I couldn't pass it up. It's in a 36, which is perfect for a dark linen. And I can't wait to find something to go on this really funky, cool fabric. And the final fabric that I picked up is for a specific project. I saw some 56 count on the table at the annex, and I thought, this is my opportunity. I'm going to try 56 count for the first time. So I picked up some 56 count Mocha Blanc by Grace Notes, and it's tiny, but I think I can do it. So I decided as a little treat to myself for trying 56 count, I would find a pattern and some of Veriswa silks to use with it, because I know you're supposed to use a thinner floss than DMC when you're working with 56 count. I know you can use DMC, but I just wanted to try my hand at something else. So I picked up the chart Florida Alphabet from JBW Designs. Let me see if I can show you the full chart without giving it away. This does not do it justice. It is an absolutely stunning piece of these light blue periwinkle colors with this giant alphabet. I loved it so much, and it's only 2 colors. So I figured on this like kind of pinkier toned neutral fabric, I grabbed 2 Aversois silks. I popped the top off of one on accident, don't judge me. In these 2 like blue periwinkle colors, I think it's going to be stunning, and I can't wait to start that. So I did fully kit up something on 56 count. I don't know when I'm gonna start it, but it will be there when I am ready. So that was my brave thing. I can't wait to start it and try it out. I'm gonna need a tiny needle. So I think these beading needles from Beth and also my friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch has some beading needle recommendations. So I will definitely be using those. That was all the fabric that I picked up at StitchCon. I did get a few charts. I didn't think I was going to get as many as I did, but again, I stayed under budget, so it's fine. But sometimes, you know, you see the models in person and they don't, like the cover images of these patterns don't do them justice. So I'm just gonna run through my stack. I've already put them in my page protectors. They're ready to go in my stash binder. But I got Postcard of Love by Rosewood Manor. This model is so small and adorable. I want to kind of deepen the colors a bit, but that is that one. I also picked up the Annapolis School Sampler by Rosewood Manor, which was a new release at market this year. It's just so small and cute, and had to pick that up. I got Spring Jack by Plum Street Samplers. This is an adorable chart. I do have some planned changes for it, but the model was so adorable. I had to do it. It's just so cute. I picked up, along with my friend Maddie, Needle Be True by Jeanette Douglas. All of these were designers that I knew didn't release PDFs, so I felt comfortable buying the paper charts while I was there. Otherwise, I typically tend to buy PDFs. But this one, the cover image also doesn't do justice. I'm gonna pop up a picture I took of the model. There are these beautiful satin stitches on this chart, and the fabric in person actually looks green instead of this like caramely color. I also picked up the ABC sampler from Jeanette Douglas. This is a pattern that I've had on my wish list for literal years. I think it's so funky. The alphabet's so cute. All these specialty stitches at the bottom. And I love it so much. So I did pick this one up. And finally from Jeanette Douglas, I got Vintage Flowers 2, which is also a super cute sampler on this like really rusty colored linen. I love these butterflies, all these flower vases. I love the alphabet. I cannot wait to start this. I think this would be a great like motif a week project. But yeah, had to get this one. All of these ones I've been eyeing for a while. I also picked up Beloved by Running with Needles and Scissors. This is a reproduction sampler, but I only want to stitch the birds. Obviously, this will not be started until Margaret Hall is done. I think I can only have one fancy bird project at a time, but once you see this model in person, it's over. It's over. I picked up Hello Winter by Plum Street. I've had this on my list to stitch forever, and if I can finish a couple of my Christmas pieces this year, I may start this. I just think the little sheep is so cute. I also picked up Autumn Fractor by Plum Street, another one I've had on my chart for forever, my chart wish list. And then I got some freebies. So these were freebies from my friend Marjorie's bag before she put them on the table. I grabbed this Home by Bent Creek. I think it's so cute. And I grabbed this Hocus Pocus little small from Lizzie Kate that she had. And then my friend Cam actually picked these up off of the freebie table for me when she did her initial pass. And she nailed my style. So she grabbed me Springtime Messenger from With Thy Needle and Thread, which is an adorable little bird vase situation. And she grabbed me To Thee From Me, which I cannot wait to stitch. It's so cute, finished in this little flower pot. I'm gonna have to stitch this really fast. But those were from Cam. And then I also grabbed this one from the freebie table. This is Tell an Emblem. It is, what is it called? Butterfly and Bloom Great Orange Tip. So cute. Someone actually had this finished on the brag table, so I'm assuming whoever finished it put the pattern down, but definitely grabbed that. It's on black Aida and it's so striking and beautiful. So got some freebies, spent a little bit of money, but that was my pattern stash from StitchCon. I've already got these imported into my Notion, and I'm about to stick them in my pattern binder by designer, and they will be all organized and done. Okay, then for a non-StitchCon haul, I do have my Colour Cotton Flosses of the month, which are these beautiful purples and a green. Love these so much. Although I do Colour Cotton, if you are watching, which I don't think you are, I could use some grays to buff my stash, because in color conversions, finding grays from my stash is hard. Just to know. They're not as fun to look at as like purples and greens, but love these. So cute. My fabric of the month is called Dove. It is a beautiful grungy gray color. I just think it's so perfect for like anything. So that's a 40 count linen, and my Be Stitch Me fabric of the month, which I get in a 36 count, is Gray Magic this month. Super stunning, blue toned gray. And I think that is all of my haul. So I did add quite a bit to my stash, but it's to be expected when you go to a retreat. Just wait till I go to Canada next year and have access to a full Roxy Flossco stash in front of me. I will be insufferable. So that is everything that I got, everything I was given. I am just so incredibly grateful, and I cannot wait to work on some of these projects. This retreat really did invigorate me again. I'm so excited about hitting my stitching goals, and I cannot wait to get started on some of these and knock into them. I did do a little bit of knitting while I was there on the plane. I actually finished my first ever knitted sock. My first ever sock, guys. I cannot believe I did it. I have not woven in my ends yet, so don't judge those. But I started these socks on my Flosstube like almost 2 years ago, I think. These are being stitched with the Practical Magic line of yarn from LFA Yarns, yeah. And I did a different colored heel and toe and cuff, and I just made a sock. So I officially recast on my second sock. I had started it previously, but I put my sock back on. I got a small set of 9-inch circulars to see if I liked knitting with those better, for like just the regular portions of these socks. I'll probably put them back on the magic loop for doing the heel flap and everything. But I did want to try knitting on the 9-inch circulars, just because having to stop and readjust every time wasn't super my jam. But anyway, you guys, I got a sock done. All of my friends are all these amazing sock knitters, and I just wanted to join the club. So I did finally get some sock knitting finished. I think the last time that you guys had seen it, I had just finished the heel flap. And so I just essentially knit the leg of the sock. They're not super long, just because I didn't want to run out of yarn. And I did a really short cuff, again, because I wasn't sure if I had enough of the contrasting color. But I think that's totally fine. I think they look great. I just love this yarn, cannot wait, and I feel really accomplished. It fits my foot. These are toe-up socks. All my friends do cuff down. I'll probably do cuff down for my next pair, but I did a toe-up sock. And I think that is everything crafty that I have to talk about. We're not doing book talk today because it's probably already been an extremely long video with everything that I had to share. As far as StitchCon, I did film a couple of clips, so I may or may not insert those there. I did not vlog the entire weekend. I kind of fell off the wagon, but I did like get a pack with me. I did a couple check-ins, so if that footage is usable, I'll put it here. If not, I highly recommend go check out Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch's channel. She has an amazing StitchCon vlog that's up, and I think I am in there quite a bit. So if you're interested in seeing our movements, we were the table right behind Elizabeth Ann's table, and we did a... Hey guys, it's the Museum Stitcher. Welcome to my channel for a very different kind of video. Today is the night before StitchCon, and I am sitting down to pack everything. Okay, venue changed. We are now in my craft room, and I wanted to tell you guys about what I'm packing and taking with me to work on. So first off, if you're not following me on Instagram, you haven't seen this yet, Also, if you see this same outfit at StitchCon, no you didn't. It's just really comfortable. So I sewed up this bag on Monday. I had Monday off of work for Memorial Day. And so I spent it doing some crafting. This is the Zip It Up by Annie. And I made the small size to travel with me on this trip. So this is essentially a 3-part project bag. There's a pocket here, here, and here. So I have Quaker Gardens by Hello from Mathews. I'll pop a picture of it here. I have this really close to a finish, and all of my friends who worked on this round robin together are going to be, and so gonna finish off that project at StitchCon with my friends. In this pocket, I have my Biscornu. So everyone at my table is going to be starting a Biscornu together at StitchCon. So I'm gonna be starting I forget the name. I'll put it up here, but it's essentially a crafting themed Biscornu. Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, is stitching it, and I love it. And my friend Maddie's going to be starting the same one. So that's everything that's going in my project keeper. I'm trying to keep the amount of projects I take pretty low, just because I might get something up when I'm there, but also I want to get in some good progress on what I take. And in the very front quilted pocket, which, shout out to the quilting. I'm super proud of what I did here. This is just a plain fabric, and I quilted every one of the squares. In here, I have my floss ring and fabric for Strawberry Bird by the Blue Flower. This is another one that Lauren has started, I think, and that I'm going to be copying her on. But my friend Marjorie is hosting a sale for the month of June called the Strawberry Moon Sale, where you work on projects with strawberries, because the full moon in June is named the Strawberry Moon. And so that is my start for the Strawberry Moon Sale. I'm going to take that to start with Marjorie, and I think Cam might be bringing it too. So anyway, those are all the projects I'm taking to work on in here. I may also end up grabbing my Modern Folk Embroidery Song of the Nightingale, just because it's 36 count, it's with DMC, and it's really easy. So I may be working on that too. And the final piece of stitching that I'm taking that I'm not going to be working on, but I'm going to invite people to work on for me, is a Friendship Basket by Hello from Liz Mathews, who I love so much. This is a freebie from several years ago, and the intention is that you stitch the border in the basket and you take it to retreat, and everyone you meet stitches a little motif on the project, and at the very end you complete off the border and add in the year, and you have a little remembrance that everyone that you met stitched on. So I printed off the pattern, and I'm going to put this in its own project bag just so that I can pass it around if I need to. I've been wanting to do this forever, but my friend Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches is doing a different pass around project. And so that's why I'm not afraid to show the pattern. It's a freebie. You can go to Liz's her blog to pick this one up, or sign up for her newsletter. And so she's doing a different pass along project, and I thought it reminded me that I had wanted to do this for forever. So I whipped this out in about 2 days, about 3 days ago. So last minute addition, but this is what it looks like. This is just a scrap of 36 count. I think it's Dirty Porcelain by Roxy Floss Co. that was in my stash. And I just grabbed a couple colors of DMC and I did the basket. I used smear and crosses to do the actual basket structure. And then I just took whatever floss I had left over and carried it up so that people had track marks for where to keep the stitching inside. And I have a needle on here, but obviously I want everyone to stitch with different colors on it, like whatever they brought with them. So I'm gonna have everyone I meet who comes to talk to me, I'm gonna ask them if they'd like to stitch on this, but it's gonna be so small and cute and just a fun remembrance piece that uses all scraps. So I think this is about 300 stitches to get it to here. And then depending on how much stitching is here, I will do the math and complete off the border. So this is coming to StitchCon, but it's not really a whip that I'm working on. It's just something for me to take for my friends. So that is everything I'm packing for StitchCon. But I love that all of my projects just fit into here. So I need to go figure out what tote bag I'm taking as my retreat tote bag and get my last minute things together. And hopefully I will update you guys maybe with an airport leaving situation in the morning, bright and early. My flight's out at 7, so I gotta be at the airport by 5:30. So cheers, and I'll see you next time.
From Mary's porch.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Update from Ohio.
Yes.
We've been busy running errands since we all landed. We went to Kroger to get snacks and stuff for lunches. I'm treating it like it's a normal thing, even though, like, you know, we kind of squealed and freaked people out in the airport.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make some candy salad, and we're going to go hang out with Maddie. And that's the update for now. I think we're gonna go get dinner at a brewery for night one.
Yes.
And we might make our candy salad and show you guys that process, because it's so interesting. But that's the update. We're here! Everybody say hi! Waiting to get in, and we're all wearing pink, and it's gonna be great. Okay, at StitchCon, it's Thursday. Update for the ladies. We've been stitching, we've been making candy salad, and things are going good. Yeah. Okay, we're at the stitching table. This is Frizzy Lizzie. Say hi, Lizzie. This is her pass around project, and it's so freaking cool. She's a genius, and this is what I stitched on it, and it's just so much fun. So had to share my little update there. That was project number 1 I worked on today. Okay guys, we are leaving StitchCon night 1. Woo! All in pink. We got a lot done today, and we're gonna get more done tomorrow. So update as we go. Okay, StitchCon day 2. Everybody say hi! We're at Maddie's house. We're packing lunches and getting ready to head out the door. And we're gonna go do some shopping. It's gonna be great. Okay, we're all here. The color of the day is black today. And we're gonna go, and we're gonna go do some shopping and get set up for the day. Love the stitchy community so much. I have found my people, and everyone is so incredibly nice, and I love getting to see everyone. I cannot wait for market next year, and that will be kind of the kickoff to Stitch North and StitchCon. And I think ideally I'd love to have like a spring retreat and a fall retreat so I could see my friends kind of more sporadically, but we'll figure it out. I think I know for sure we all want to go to the Colour Cotton store together. So if we can find a retreat that's near there and kind of chart our course around, I think it'd be really fun. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. We all stayed at Maddie's house, which she was so incredibly kind to let us do. And it was amazing. I love my girlies. It was amazing, overwhelming. It's taken me days to recover, but it's Sunday and we're here and we made it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's rundown. As far as plans go, I will be, actually, there's a bit more haul. As far as plans go, I am joining Caroline's birthday sale from Evertotes. This year, I got her birthday box, which had this amazing chart from the Artsy Housewife that I just am obsessed with. So I bought the birthday box. I have the Called For Floss and the Roxy Floss Co. flosses and the fabric and all that jazz, and an amazing needle minder. I think this sale starts in mid-July. I think July 7th. So I am kitted up and ready to go for that. That is my only planned start for July. And I do have one more start planned for the end of June. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to participate in my friend Marjorie's Strawberry Moon Sal, just because I don't know when I'm going to start a strawberry project and I don't have one going. But she is doing this incredible Strawberry Moon Sal. If you have anything in your whip pile that has strawberries, definitely stitch it and use the hashtag. I don't have anything with strawberries, but I have some. I kitted up Strawberry Bird by the Blue Flower, and I meant to start it at StitchCon, but I didn't. So anyway, my friend Maddie is starting for her birthday on June 24th, Turkish Delight by Rosewood Manor. She's doing a conversion, so is Cam. They're both stitching on brightly colored fabrics, but I did purchase the Roxy Floss Co. conversion that I am so obsessed with. It is this neutral fabric with these like moody colors. I cannot wait to stitch it. And since Maddie's starting it for her birthday, I will probably start it and get it a little bit going and then put it away for a while. I love it so much. I think it's so beautiful and I've wanted to start it forever. So I'm gonna get a little start on it now, but I'm not going to work on it a ton. But you know, when two of your friends are starting something that you've had kitted up for 6 months, it kind of feels like the right time to start it too. I also have this in an Evertotes bag I bought when I bought the conversion, which is just amazing. I love their project bags. So those are my 2 planned starts. I may squeeze in Strawberry Bird if I can, but I am trying to hit my Days of Christmas goal for the rest of this month. I did work on my vanity sampler a little bit, but I had so much to talk about already that I'm going to push that to the next time. So I will show that to you once I have finished my entire June goal on that one as well. So I need to work on vanity sampler. I need to work on Days of Christmas, and I think that's it for the rest of this month. I also want to finish my Move Forward in Love by Modern Folk Embroidery. So that's another plan. It's a lot of stitching and not enough time, but I think I will be able to make it work. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed hanging out with me. I hope that all the pictures and everything have been great. I need to post on my Instagram. I just have not sat down and pulled all my pictures together yet. It was such a whirlwind of a week, and I'm feeling a lot of love and feeling so grateful. So anyway, happy Father's Day, and I will it'll be Monday before you guys see this, I think. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing few weeks. I will be back in a couple to talk about what I get done post StitchCon stitching fever, and yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. If you made it to this point in the video, go ahead and leave me. Let's do a sun emoji because it is the summertime now. So if you made it to this point in the video, leave me a sun emoji down below. I love talking with you guys and seeing our little Easter egg of emojis pop up in the comments. I'll see you next time, and have a happy stitching time, guys. Bye.